Okay, before I do this, I want to say sorry. I'm not doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not sponsored by Windows or NFL. Just to let you know. Okay.
Everybody put 3 fingers in the air. The sky's falling, the wind is calling, stand for something or die in the morning. Section.80, high power. Visions of Martin Luther staring at me. Malcolm X put a hex on my future, someone catch me. I'm falling victim to a revolutionary song. The Serengeti's clone. Back to put you backstabbers back on your spinal bone. You slit your disc when I slit you my disc. You wanted to diss but jumped on my dick. Grown men never should bite their tongue unless you eating pussy that smell like it's a stale plum. I got my finger on the motherfucking pistol, aiming it at the pig. Charlotte's Web is gonna miss you. My issue isn't televised, and you ain't gotta tell the wise how to sound beat because our life's an instrumental. This is physical and mental. I won't sugarcoat it. You die from diabetes if these other niggas wrote it. And everything on TV just a figment of imagination. I don't want a plastic nation. Tread that like a Haitian. While you motherfuckers waiting, I be off the slave ship, building pyramids, writing my own hieroglyphs. Just call this shit high power. Nigga, nothing less than high power. 5-star dishes, food for dark bitches. I mean, this shit is Huey Newton going stupid. You can't resist his high power. Throw your hands up for high power. Visions of Martin Luther staring at me. If I see it how he seen it, that would make my parents happy. Sorry, mama, I can't turn the other cheek. They wanna knock me off the edge like a fucking widow peak. And she always told me pray for the weak. Them demons got me, I ain't prayed in some weeks. Dear Lord, come save me, the devil's working on. He probably clocking double shifts on all of his jobs. Frightening, so fucking frightening. Enough to drive a man insane. I need a license to kill. I'm standing on a field full of landmines doing the moonwalk, hoping I blow up in time. Cause 2012 might not be a fucking legend. Trying to be a fucking legend, the man of mankind. Who said a black man in the Illuminati? Last time I checked, that was the biggest racist party. So get up off that slave ship, build your own pyramids, write your own hieroglyphs. Just call this shit high power. Nigga, nothing less than high power. 5-star dishes, food for dark bitches. I mean, this shit is Bobby Steele making meals you can't resist his high power. Throw your hands up for high power.
Every day we fight to stay up, to make our life. We've been down for too long, but that's alright. We were built to be strong, but it's our life. Nah, nah, nah. Every day we
I never liked the system.
That's alright. Nah, nah, nah.
Who said a black man in Illuminati? Last time I checked, that was the biggest racist party. Last time I checked, we was racing with Marcus Garvey on the freeway to Africa till I wrecked my Hardy. And I want everybody to view my autopsy so you can see exactly where the government has shot me. No conspiracy, my fate is inevitable. They play musical chairs once I'm on that pedestal. Frightening, so fucking frightening. Enough to drive a man insane, a woman insane. The reason Lauren Hill don't sing, the Kurt Cobain loaded that clip and this there bang. The drop in brains crazy, product of the late 80s. Trying to stay above water, that's why we shun the Navy. Pull your guns and play me, let's set it off. Cause a riot, throw a model talk. Somebody told me them pirates had got lost. Cause we been up through slave ships, got our own pyramids, write our own hieroglyphs. Just call it shit high power. Yeah, nothing less than high power. 5-star dishes, food for dark bitches. I mean, this shit is Red Hampton on your campus. You can't resist it. High power. Throw your hands up for high power. Thug life. Thug life.
God. Okay. That was stupid. Anyways, I hope I don't get sued for this. Might get a strike for this. But if it doesn't get big, then who cares? Nothing's gonna happen. Okay, so that there was High Power by Kendrick Lamar. My favorite rap hip-hop song ever, as of now. That could change in the future. That has changed before. So yeah, this video is about Section 80 and why I think it is, or why for me it's my favorite hip-hop album of all time. Of course, I haven't listened to that much hip-hop, so maybe that's not really saying much, but yeah, I'm going to explain why. Alright. Okay. And High Power, which is the song you just heard, is my favorite hip-hop song of all time. And Section 80 is my favorite album. I don't know if I messed that up earlier. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about my relationship with Kendrick Lamar, kind of. I had gotten to hip-hop before Kendrick Lamar. I had tried out albums by Eminem, Kanye West, and then if you consider Linkin Park as part of hip-hop, then I listened to them too. I did enjoy one of their albums, but it was more of like an electronic rock album than hip-hop. So, and then my first moment when I realized I could love hip-hop, because all through my life, you know, you're told by your parents and people around you that like hip-hop is just garbage music, it doesn't mean anything, it's all about hoes and money and stuff. Excuse me. Okay. Hoes and money, you know, and that's not what Kendrick raps about. Or like not all rappers rap about that. And Kendrick Lamar was the one who showed me that that is the case. So my first, the first album that made me realize I could love hip hop was Kendrick Lamar's next album, second album, Good Kid, Mad City. The song "The Art of Peer Pressure" really, I don't know if it spoke to me, but like I think a lot about society, and that song really captured how I feel about society. It's like everyone else like pressures you to do things like everyone else. You know, you feel social pressure to do what other people do around you. Yeah, that's how I think the world works, and you know, Kendrick spoke about it, you know, in his own context in Compton, California. And then from that song, I got into all the other songs on the album, and I understood the whole story arc, narrative of that album. And then I went backwards to Section 80, and now we are. And so I got into that album like in 2014. And yeah, now, I mean, I would consider myself a hip-hop fan. Maybe hip-hop snobs would not, music snobs would not think I am, because I haven't listened to any Boogie Down Productions albums yet. But, yeah, Kendrick Lamar. Okay, so Section 80, I don't remember when I first heard that, but, heard it off the YouTube link, which I will not link, but, if you enjoy that album, you should buy it. Alright. So, anyways. So what do I want to say about this album? The lyrics, the beats, they're all awesome. And of course, you know, on top of it all is Kendrick Lamar's personality, which I'm a very socially conscious person myself. And, you know, his version of social consciousness like really spoke to me because of that. And alright, so I'm going to start with, I think Hole Up might have been my first favorite song on the album. And this song just had like an awesome sort of like elevator music kind of beat. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and then like I like that beat. I mean, you could probably say like, oh, it's just elevator music or something, but I really enjoy the beat. It's super catchy. Then and then so okay, so the way I listen to music is like I first listen to it, and it has to be enjoyable to my ears, and then I get into like lyrics and message and all that stuff. So like I don't think I loved it the first time, but I was like super intrigued by it because, and also like I wanted to understand what Kendrick was saying in this album since I got into Good Kid, Mad City so much. And I think the next song I got into was No Makeup, her Vice, which is about, you know, the kind of cliche topic of how like women don't have to wear makeup, and like you look fine without makeup, you look beautiful without makeup, you don't need it, you don't need to change the way you are, you know, be yourself. That's what the song's kind of about. And you know, I came from Linkin Park, as I said earlier, so that hook, that weird like the way, like I was used to that, so it wasn't like terrible to me, you know. But now I kind of think it's a little bit cringy, kind of, but you know, I still enjoy that song, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Absol's Outro, which is one of the last songs on the album. This album closes out really well. Like the last 6 songs are like is one of the best closing third of an album ever, in my opinion. It's like he saves like the best songs for last. It's pretty crazy. Like usually albums, you know, they're all great at the beginning and then slowly they peter off. For this album, Section 80 is like it's good at the beginning and then it goes down and then goes downhill like in the first, you know, like between like 20% and like 60% of the album. Like it's like a little bit, it's still good but like not as good, and then at the last 40% it's just awesome. So Absol's Outro is like, it was jazz. It was like the first time I enjoyed jazz, I feel like. Terrace Martin, I think playing the clarinet or something, saxophone. Sorry, I feel terrible. That I don't know what instrument that is. It's one of those. And then Absol's rapping, who is another member of Kendrick's collective, Black Hippie. His flow is like really, it fits the jazzy vibe. Like it's just like, and it's just like, it's really steady, and like what he's saying is really amazing. Like if you're like a super like a guy who really like is angry at the world and stuff, like you're gonna love Absol's lyrics on this song. It's fantastic. And then I mean Kendrick, and then I've said before that, or not in this video, but what I always say is like Absol's Outro is sort of like Kendrick really laying out who he is as a person, because like it's just one of some of my favorite lines. Like I've been living on this world for 23 years, and it's like I'm like, he's not an artist, he's not a rapper, he's a human being. Like I love that line because the things that Kendrick is saying all over this album are things that any human should be able to get behind. You know, you don't have to be freaking, you know, super knowledgeable and like have traveled to like Haiti and Bangladesh to understand like the things that Kendrick is talking about, and like to get behind what he's talking about. Like they're not these super like complex ideas. Like he's saying things like, well, I don't want to give everything away, but like things like what Absol's saying about like how people are just glued to their television, and well, in this day and age now, it's like the internet. They're just glued to the internet and not thinking about the way the world works. They're just like sort of absorbing and consuming all this stuff, but like all this like stuff that you don't want, you don't need. Your body doesn't need that. It's sort of like eating a bunch of junk food. Like we're just eating junk food. We're not getting the stuff that we really need. And yeah. Okay. My example is F Your Ethnicity, which is the first track, and I mean, obviously it speaks to me because he includes Asians. Like how many hip hop artists at all like include Asians? I mean, like Kendrick isn't the most. I mean, you might actually think of him as like racist against Asians, because for example, in his for his first untitled track, he talks about how he stereotypes Asians. I mean, it's sort of the theme of the song about how like he's sort of stereotyping them in that song, but he doesn't mean to do it in like this really negative way, like, oh, people, those kinds of people are always like that, and because of that, they won't ever change. We gotta hate them because they will always have that negative thing that I think about them as. He's not doing that. He's saying like it doesn't matter like where you come from, what group you're associated with. Like he's sort of associating Asians, Chinese, like I'm a Chinese American, with just the big Asian group, right? But he's saying like it doesn't matter if you are part of that Asian group. You're the same as everyone else. You're the same as blacks, whites, Hispanic, as he says in that song. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. And so like back to Absol's outro, it's like saying you don't need to have like an IQ of 160 to understand that these are simple topics. Like you don't have to be super smart to understand that people are the same. We all are made of flesh and blood. We all go to school. We all freaking get haircuts and get tired after running, etc. So like that's kind of like one of Kendrick Lamar's mission statements, and so that's what really drives me to the album. I'll talk about my least favorite song on the album, which is Tammy's song, which is about this woman Tammy, I guess, that's the name Kendrick gives her. She's being treated badly by men in various ways. And you should just listen to the song and see where it goes. But to me, it's kind of a boring topic. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not that invested in women's issues that much. I mean, it is, I guess, like it's just not a very good song. Because like it's electronic, it's the most electronic beat on the album, but I feel like sort of like Idiotech on Kid A, it's just like it's too electronic for the album. It's just like, yeah, I'm not saying like every other song is like not electronic, but it's just a little bit not beyond what this album's about. And I'm not hating on electronics, but I don't know, just not worked the most artistically compared to all the other songs. It's like it's not a bad song, but it's like all the other songs are so good that it's just not as good. One of my favorite songs is Chapter 6 because it has this. It's like woo, 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 woo. One, oh. And then I don't know. I just really like that sort of refrain. It's just like I don't know what it reminds me of, but it's just like this old guy singing. It's like oh, 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 oh. It's just like so endearing and cute. I guess just all over this album, I'm just really impressed with like the display of Kendrick's personality and just his passion. Like he's super passionate about all these topics, like that a normal like 23-year-old guy probably wouldn't be into. Like as I said, he talks about like women's issues on this album. It's like half the album's about women's issues, and the other half is sort of like Good Kid, Mad City topics about gangbanging. Oh man, like another favorite track, Rigor Mortis. It's like that beat's awesome, and like Kendrick just goes hard. Like he's just freaking rapping super fast, and like like when you hear the song, you'll understand like his passion. Like he's just super into like what he's saying, and he's like really into his craft, and he really wants to make good hip hop music. Kush and Corinthians used to be like my favorite song on the album. It's this slow song about how Kendrick wants to kind of escape his gangster lifestyle of always like trying to go after, the other gang, kill him or beat him up or take revenge or whatever. But it's like he somehow can't get past it. And like that's awesome. And then but the best part of the song, like the beat's awesome, the lyrics are awesome, the hook is awesome. And he's just telling you like be different, do different things, don't do it like he did, cause he ain't what you is, and we can't. He's like telling you don't do the same things that were done before. They were bad things to do. You should not do the bad things and move on to some better things. So that's what he's doing all over the album. Like not only is he showing his personality, but he's trying to be a role model. He's trying to change the listener, with his music. And he didn't really change me because I already thought that way. Like I'm a person who likes to think that they're different. That's me. I'm different from other people. I'm not like everyone else. So like I already thought that way. So like, but he's trying to talk to people who would just follow the crowd and walk like a zombie in line, through life, not thinking about their surroundings and stuff. All right, another song that's a highlight to me is Blow My High, which is like right now my favorite song. I mean, my favorite song on the album has pretty much always been High Power, but my second favorite song like changes, and right now it's Blow My High, which is like this. It's a really old school type hip hop beat. If you listen to like 90s hip hop, or just maybe it just sounds old because it's kind of skeletal, it's kind of bare, and there's not a lot of like arranged instrumentation and stuff. And it's sort of like this ode to Aaliyah, who was this pop singer who died at a very young age, like in 2001 or something. Like she was getting to be a big pop star, like in the late 90s, but then there was a plane crash, I think, and Kendrick kind of pays homage to her by like including like the sample of her song. I don't really know what song it is. I'm not really a huge Aaliyah fan, but if you think you'd be into like some R&B from the late 90s, you should definitely check her out. And it's spelled Aaliyyah. I was trying to do it like Kendrick did in the song, but and there's like this low voice going through Holly Bros at the mall, like through the song. It's sort of like added onto the beat, and it's sort of like added as a second part of the beat. And then Kendrick on top of the beat, he's talking about like don't be bored with your life, do things with your life, which is inspirational for me because I'm like, I guess I am bored, which is terrible because like I have all these opportunities available to me, but I just don't know which one to take. I feel like a terrible person because so many people have no opportunity and I have all the opportunity in the world and I just don't know what to do. And it's just like this super like chill track that you just like can't help bobbing your head to. Yeah, Blow My High. And then so I'll talk about High Power now. And it's my favorite hip hop song of all time, as I've said. And it has this killer beat, right? You heard it. Please don't sue me. That song belongs to Kendrick Lamar completely. Well, I guess unless some royalties are paid to J. Cole or other members of TDE or something. And to me, it's Kendrick Lamar's manifesto for like what he wants to do with his music and what he wants to do with the world and stuff. Like as he said, he mentioned all the black leaders and stuff. Like, okay, thinking about Kendrick Lamar, which kind of relates back to the Blow My High song, is that he really respects and appreciates the past, like what happened before him. Like he's heavily influenced by all the rappers that kind of came before him, like Eminem, Tupac, Jay-Z, Biggie, and Nas. Those are his 5 favorites, I think. But as you can see, as you see in Blow My High, like he pays homage to Aaliyah, like some past star before him who he really like appreciates what they did for music or something. But specifically in High Power, he doesn't talk about music artists that influence him. He talks about the black leaders that he thinks like did good things for black people. And that we should, not forget about what they did, for African Americans, and just American society as a whole. And like he wants to continue their tradition of like trying to keep us progressing as a society. And I mean, yeah, I love that song a lot. It's just he has musical references too, right? He references Lauryn Hill, references Nirvana. And just like he has so much passion behind what he's saying. Like I agree with everything he's saying, and he delivers them in such a witty way, that hip hop does, by spinning words together in this really intricate way, and that's what he does. Let's see. Keisha's song is great. I mean, what influenced me to make this video is BigQuint. Shout out to BigQuint. Like his reaction to Section.80 is freaking awesome. And just like it got me so emotional, just like seeing someone else enjoy the music so much. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. It's sort of a concept album. Like it's not as huge of a concept album as Good Kid, Mad City was, but like there's this this really low voice. It's pitched down. I don't know who the original voice is. There's like this really low voice that's like speaking at various moments in the album, and like he just kind of like he's like, now we're going to talk about we talked about women's issues. I mean, and then now we're going to talk about men's issues in Compton. Specifically about gang banging and stuff. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about the album. Every single song is good. Many are great. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar, for freaking making my musical listening so much wider. Thanks to your 3 albums, or 4, or 5. I don't know like what you consider an album. All right, thanks for watching, YouTube. I guess I will be checking out. Yeah, I'll show you this room a bit. So I'm at home from my apartment from college because I wanted to get a haircut. And yeah, here you go. I'm gonna show you. There you go. That's a perfect example of my Chinese heritage. You can't really see it, huh? But it's one of those like kind of like Chinese, those old style Chinese paintings or drawings. Shows those like trees and mountains, and like there's like this little house with a person in it. Yeah, so that's what my parents had. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. This was Prosecutor Godot. I'm gonna leave you now. Bye.